and welcome back to the channel. My name's Nicole and this is Dusty Book Sniffers, and today we are here for a little bit of a different video. It is 10 classics that I'd like to read in 2024. So let's get started, shall we? Well, good morning or good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Thank you for taking some time out of your day and spending it with me while I prattle on about the classics that I would like to read in 2024. All right, so I have a pile here off to the side of 10, and the reason that I only have 10 is because some are a little bit more chunkier than others, and I have quite a number of goals that I'd like to achieve this year, and this is actually one of them. So I thought I would share the books that I would like to read in 2024 that fall in my opinion, into the classic genre. All right, the first one that I would like to read is Dostoevsky. It is a mouthful, and I think I got that right. And it is Crime and Punishment. Now, this one has been on my shelf for quite some time, and I have been putting it off, to say the least. So anyway, I am tackling it this year. When I'm going to pick these up, I don't know. I'm just going to read them as I read them throughout the year. Now, if you've been around for a while, you do know that I like to listen while reading along. So I will be doing immersive reading with these because of the language and all that sort of stuff. So crime, what crime am I killing a loathsome, harmful louse, a filthy old money lender woman, and you call that a crime, is a quote that has been pulled out of this. This is a translation by David Macduff, has been acclaimed as the most accessible version of Dostoevsky's a great novel regarding his dialogue and all that sort of stuff. So apparently it is a really good copy. This is a Penguins classic. Of course, it'll have footnotes and all that sort of stuff through it. I'll be taking some notes on what I thought and all that sort of stuff because I thoroughly enjoyed the Count of Monte Cristo. I know it's different author and all that sort of stuff, but I thoroughly enjoyed the Count of Monte Cristo in 2023, so I'm looking forward to polishing this off. However, I have put the serialized book club to a bed, so to speak, in hiatus for a little while. I don't know whether we'll come back in 2024, but possibly in 2025, not through lack of interest or anything, that just people are quite busy and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, I digress from that. I am picking this up. I'm not going to read anything about it because I don't want to know about it, but I will actually vlog my experience throughout the year as I'm reading them. So you will get to see detailed synopsis and all the thoughts that I had on the books and all that sort of stuff. But this one has actually been on my want to read for quite a number of years. So I'm looking forward to it. It's just about someone that, desperate for mysterious, wanders through the slums of St. Petersburg and commits a random murder without remorse or regret, and that's all I want to read. That's as far as I want to go with that. So that is number one. As I said, these are not in any particular order or anything like that. I'd also like to continue reading some of the Bronte sisters, and I actually have two here. One is The Professor by Charlotte Bronte. This is one, just a cheap one that I got off. It's not great in the printing or anything like that. I think it was like $8. I got it off Amazon, and I think it's just been printed here, to be honest. It's not the best formatting or anything like that. As you can see, it's pretty small, the print and all that sort of stuff, and the chapters are like midway through the page and stuff. So I'm looking forward to reading this. According to this one, it's only got a little over 130 pages in it, so it shouldn't take me too long. The Professor was the first novel by Charlotte Bronte. It was originally written before Jane Eyre, but rejected by many publishing houses, but eventually published after her death in 1857. So the book is basically following the Professor, who is a young man. His name is William. It just basically follows his life and his experience is based upon Charlotte Bronte's experience in Brussels, where she studied as a language student in 1842. So I'm pretty keen to read that one. And the other one by Charlotte Bronte, which I've had on my shelf for a while, which I got like for $2. and it's almost brand new. Like, well, I would say it is brand new. It's been stuck on someone's shelf and it's never been opened. Doesn't even have the crease here, like when the cover's been open or anything, and there's nothing on the spine. So it is looking very brand new indeed. This is one that I've wanted to read for a while, and it's been sort of staring at me in the last couple of weeks. So I thought, you know what, you're coming off the shelf and we're going to give it a read. I was originally reading all the Bronte sisters with Maria from Read Fine Books, but obviously she got super busy and all that sort of stuff, and reading the classics sort of went by the wayside. This is following a struggling manufacturer. Robert Moore has introduced labour-saving machinery to his Yorkshire mill, arousing a ferment out of unemployment and discontent amongst the workers. Robert considers a marriage to a wealthy and independent Shirley Kilda to solve his financial woes. And I'm going to leave it there. So it sounds like a little bit of a love story, marriage convenience sort of thing. The next one I'm going to read is continuing on reading some French classics. Now, I came across this one because of Maria, and this is following Mademoiselle de Maupin, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm not too sure. But this is the author. Let the camera focus on that. It's just following the story of Mademoiselle Maupin, subject of gossip, many colourful stories during her time. She was known as a first-rate swordswoman, who often disguised herself as a man. So it is, as I said, it is a French classic. I don't know much more than that. And as I said, this came onto my radar because of Maria, and it has been sitting on my shelf for a while. Again, it's one of those classics that you get from Audible that they print out, and the printing is pretty bad and all the rest of it. And so is my camera today. And that. All right, so something just fell off, so I do apologize for that. The next one that I want to read is Catcher in the Rye. Now, I do not remember ever reading this, but I think I started it at school and I never finished it. I got this for like $1 at a local charity event here, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to read it. It's been sitting on my shelf for a while, so I'm going to read Catcher in the Rye this year as well. I'm not going to go into great detail, as I said. Most of these I will vlog my experience and all that sort of stuff. This was first published, let me just have a look. It was first published in 1945 in serial form. Well, there you go. First published in book form in 1951. Well, there you go. I did not know that this was serialized. But there you go. It mustn't have been a very long series because there's under 200 pages in it. So Catcher in the Rye is definitely on the list as well. Another one that I want to get to is Henry James. I haven't read anything by Henry James. I see him all the time and I go to pick him up and I never read him. So Turn of the Screw and Other Ghost Stories is in this one. So I want to get through this one. This one will be just a slow progress because it's full short stories. So I'll see, I think there's like 5 or 6 short stories in this one. Just let me have a look. You bring that up. And of course, this is a penguin cloth bound. We have, what do we got? Yeah, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stories in here. So I could do one a month and spread that out over the year. So I want to get to this one. It's been on my shelf for quite some time, so I really do want to get to that. The next one, now I don't even know how I came across this. This was first published by Mary Elizabeth Brandon in 1862 in the United Kingdom. It generally regarded as being a sensation novel, and a large plot element centers around the bigamy, which was part of the literary fashion of the 1860s. Prior to its publication in a book form, it was partly words today, people, partly serialized in the Robin Goodfellow magazine in 1861 before being fully serialized in the Sixpenny magazine in 1962. It was also serialized in the London Journal in 1863. So it had a good run at it. There have been many adaptations of this work for stage, radio, film, television, etc. Television form in its own era right down to the present day. It is thought that in the second half of the 19th century, just about everybody would have heard of this novel. It's not quite so famous today, but it certainly deals with a lot of interesting themes. And so it's well worth the consideration. So when I read the back of this, now I cannot tell you how I come across this book. I may have been watching a booktuber. Who that booktuber was, I could not tell you. I think it might have been Roy Reads Anything, but I'm not 100% sure. But when I read the synopsis on this, I'm like, you know what? I really want to read this because I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued, as they say. So this is one that I only got this a couple of months ago, but it's definitely one that I'm going to pick up and read. I haven't got it in audio. So these, again, are books that I'm going to slowly but surely get through. My intent is to read all 10 of them. But if I can't, well, then that's okay. So the next one, I'm not 100% sure where I got this one. This is by Guyanti Classics. It's D.H. Lawrence, and it's Lady Chatterley's Lover. This one is complete and unabridged, so it hasn't been cut down or anything like that. And I'm not entirely sure what it's about, but when I seen it, I'm like, it looks a little bit different. The typeset is tiny as, so that's going to be a bit of a tricky read indeed. But I'm sure I'll be able to find it possibly on audio and whatnot. So this one was first published. Let me just have a look when this was first published. This was bought for a person in 2005. It doesn't really say. It's around, it was 1911 from what I can see. This particular publication of it was published in 2001. Other than that, it doesn't have any other information about it. It has got a little bit of a introduction in here, and it's mentioning Nottingham High School. It is also mentioning a few books as well that were published. So we've got the White Peacock, and also which followed the Trespasser. I'm assuming are books by this author. I don't know anything about this author, and that's what I love about going to book fairs and stuff like that. I end up finding books that I know nothing about. Now, I'm relatively new to classics. Like, I know your general ones like your Jane Austen and Thomas Hardy and all those ones, and Frankenstein, all those ones, all those people and whatnot. So I know the mainstream ones, but some of these not so known ones are the ones that I've been gravitating towards lately. There is mention of 1885 in here. Lawrence comes from a working class background of Eastwood. It was a coal mining provincial town in Nottinghamshire. That's a mouthful. So there is a lot. I'm sure that there'll be a lot more to learn about this particular author and all the rest of it. So let's have a look. I don't really know much other than what's on the back. It says, with a queer obedience, she lay down on a blanket. Then she felt a soft, groping, helplessly serious hand touching her body and feeling for her face. The hand stroked her face softly, softly, with infinite soothing and assurance. And at last there was a soft touch of a kiss on her cheek. She lay quite still, in the sort of a sleep, in sort of a dream. So, I don't know. It's a little bit different, but I'm looking forward to reading it because it's something different. All right, so now we're going to move on to some of the people that we already know. So the first one I'm going to talk about now, this one was talked about very passionately by Katie from Books and Things, and I want to say Kate Howe as well. Also talked about this, and this is the Mayor of Castor Bridge by Thomas Hardy. And I come across this on special. I got this for like $10 or something. It normally retails for like $25, and I got it was on special. It's got like the gold pages in it as well, and the it feels like a really old book, like the glossy paper pages and all that sort of stuff, which you can see quite the sheen off that. But I want to read this. I don't know anything really much about this, except that what it says on the back, really. So I just took it for what Katie had talked about, and she said how of a good book it was, and I really trust her opinion when it comes to classics and stuff like that. So when I seen it and it was on special, I thought, you know what, I'll grab it, and I'm actually going to go into it blind. I actually don't want to read the synopsis. I don't want to know what it's about, because I know that sometimes it can get a little bit spoiled. If I feel like it's a bit of a boring subject in my own mind, then I won't read it. So I'm just going to leave it there. It is The Mayor of Castor Bridge by Thomas Hardy. So it'll be the first Hardy that I have read as well. Okay, so the next one that I want to read is Wilkie Collins. Now, Wilkie Collins has been on my list for quite some time. This one is supposed to be a suspense. It's supposed to be tense, all that sort of stuff. It's a bit of a mystery as well. And it says on here, one of the earliest works of detective fiction, woven together with multiple characters. Wilkie Collins partly based his infamous novel on a real life 18th century case of abduction and wrongful imprisonment. So I don't know when I'm going to get to this, but I have been wanting to read it for a while, and it has actually been on my list for quite some time. So I'll probably end up picking that up pretty quickly. The other one is these are both sorry, excuse me. These are both Elizabeth Gaskell. Now, Kate Howe goes on about Elizabeth Gaskell all the time, how much she loves her. Katie has also mentioned her a few times as well. So I got these at the Kingaroy Book Fest. They are the vintage collection of classics. And this one is North and South. And we also have Mary Barton as well. So I'm not going to read them because I do know that sometimes, as I said, it takes the fun out of it. I'm going into them blind, and I find with my classics, if I go in blind, I just enjoy them so much more. But they are the 10 classics that I am going to read in 2024. Do come along for the journey. Don't forget to like and also subscribe to the channel, because then that way you're not going to miss out on any of my future uploads. So do join me for 2024. Are you reading some classics this year? If you are, leave me a comment down below and let me know if any of these are on your radar, or whether you have got something else entirely in mind. And I would love to hear from you. But as I said, that is all from me today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and maybe share this video across the socials. And as always, keep turning those pages, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.